The snake egg went bad during incubation. Let's cut it open and see what's inside.
This is an egg of a tricolor hognose snake, and I believe it went bad somewhere between day 10 and day 14 of incubation. If the egg was healthy, the inside would be a liquid yolk. However, when they go bad, the inside solidifies, almost as if the egg was hard boiled. Here you could see how I peel the shell off, and everything is just solidified. When I take a closer look at the egg shell, you could see where the mold started forming. The mold is actually forming in the spot where the embryo died. Snake eggs lack a membrane called the chalaza. The chalaza is a membrane inside of an egg that suspends the embryo in the center of the egg. The lack of this membrane is precisely why we don't rotate snake eggs. Because they don't have a chalaza, the embryo fixes itself to the shell. So when the embryo dies and begins to mold, that mold will quickly penetrate the shell. The moldy portion of the egg here is where the embryo was. Typically in this location we could find something that resembles a snake. But as I cut through this egg, I am not finding anything, which leads me to believe that this egg died a little earlier than I thought. When I've cut open eggs before that were around 2 weeks old, I could usually find an embryo that's about the size of a grain of rice. But here, I'm really not seeing anything other than mold. When these eggs go bad, they smell pretty terrible. It's one of those distinct smells that you'll never forget. And as a snake breeder, when I open up my incubator, I absolutely dread smelling this smell, because it means that one or more of your eggs are going bad. And believe me, cutting open the egg intensifies that terrible smell. But it's also fascinating to see the development of the embryo at different stages of incubation. Now, we didn't see any here, but in ball python eggs that went bad around 2 weeks, I found that you could already make out the snake's eyes, mouth, and even some of the internal organs. So they do develop pretty quickly, which makes sense because it only takes them about 60 days to hatch. And when they hatch, they're fully developed to hunt and survive on their own.